I was trying to figure out what my next project's going to be, and I like doing small things more than I like doing big things. So I'm going to make a nutcracker. Not the tall uh, soldier from the Swan Lake Nutcracker. I'm thinking about a small one that will have some carving to it. We'll see how it works out. But I got an idea in my head. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll find out together. I don't have any plans for this thing, so this is all going to be engineered as I go along. But I chose these two pieces of oak that I had in my stash, and they are from old schoolhouse desks, and they're the rails from old schoolhouse desk. So I'm going to have to do some cleanup on them. On the back side you can see there's pocket holes, just proving pocket holes has existed way longer than most people think. And then there's also these slices, because there was a metal bracket that held two pieces together, and the leg would sit right here. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to sand these down using my drum sander. You've all seen sanding before, so I'm not going to show it to you. And then I'm going to clean up the sides, make a nice parallel side, and then I'm going to chop off. I'm going to keep these pieces, they may actually come out useful, and then chop off this here, and then this here, and then do the same thing here. One problem with using recycled wood on your projects is that there's sometimes embedded metal. I spent a good part of the last 20 minutes trying to extract this nail from the board, which was pretty well glued in. Several pieces broke off in the attempt. Here's one. And now it leaves this big ugly hole. It looked just like this here before I ran the metal detector over it. So now I got a big hole. But it's better that than having to deal with the fact that I tricked the brake on my saw stop. This is the jaw piece, and what I want to do is from this line back make the piece thinner, because it needs to fit through the hole in the headpiece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through the bandsaw here and stop when it gets to this line here. And then I'm not going to cut it off because I want to maintain this shape and not lose it. I'll cut it off after I'm done with that. Okay, here's the two parts. There's going to be some refining I need to do. I want to widen this jaw here, right, because there's no way a nut can fit in there. And then I got to do something else here. Of course, this jaw here is going to be refined somewhat, but I need to figure out where a pivot point's going to be and refine that some more too. And then it's a matter of drilling out and chiseling out a channel in the middle for this to fit in there, and then decorating, I guess. We'll see. Well, it's been a couple days since I worked on this last, and I was having a real hard time trying to figure out how I'm going to determine the pivot point and to refine the shapes. And last night I had an epiphany. I have a tendency to just jump into a project without really thinking out how I'm going to do it. And it's worked out for me over the years. But this time, I think I have to do some templating and make a sample simply, and then figure out the shapes better. So, with that in mind, this is what I did. I took a couple pieces of, I guess that's 1/4 inch plywood, and I drilled a hole, put a dowel in there so they twist nice and pretty. I did 2 of these so that just in case I messed up I could do another one, but I didn't. And then I wanted to maintain as much of this wood as possible because I don't have much left. So I took this piece here and I made this. Drilled, I already have a hole and a pivot point. And then with this being able to pass by easily, I was able to draw out what I intend for the handle to be. I'm also able to determine where the pass-through needs to be. So that's kind of cool. So now what I want to do is I want to cut out this piece here, so then I have a template to make the handle out of this piece of wood, which I also happen to have from milling out the rest of this. So I'm probably going to do this off camera because you've already seen all this. It's just now I'm going to do it right. My shop is not air conditioned. I have some fans, but no AC in here. And right now it's 97 degrees outside, and I'm having a real hard time working on my wood project. But I press on. This is what I have so far. I have the jaw and then the head of the cracker, and then I made a mortise in here. I use a drill press and files and gouges to deal with it, and that this fits into here. And I'm going to put a piece of dowel. I'd already drilled this head part, but not the jaw. I will do that later. I'm going to put that. And now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to sand everything and make it nice and pretty. Okay, I've completed it, and here is the Nutcracker. I have a nice little design that I made on the sides. Same thing on this side. I think it looks nice. And now I couldn't find any pecans or anything, but I did find pistachios, which is rather easy to crack, but let's see how it does. Yeah, it's doing a good job. There you go. Look at that. So, also, let's try a harder one. Let's see here. There you go. Look at that. That nut got cracked. Good. Finally, after every woodworking project, you should always count your fingers. You end with 10. Good job.
Great job. Too bad it's so hard to find whole nuts in the grocery store.